turn off at this gas station, even though I don't need gas, because that trucker right there did some things that really concerned me, and I do not currently feel safe. And I know that it seems weird because I'm driving down the highway, but I'm going to turn and put some distance between me and that guy right there. I don't know exactly how to explain this, but I'm going to try to. But first I'm going to get out and look at my van to make sure everything's good. I'm pretty red. That usually only happens when I get really stressed, and what just happened was really stressful. I'll explain in a second, but I need to make sure my van is okay. That was weird. That was super weird. Okay, so what happened? Something I've never experienced in all the time on the road ever. I don't still know what exactly it is. I checked the van. Everything's fine with the van. So the only indicator that I have that this is something that's not weird would have been if I would have gotten out and there would have been something wrong with the van, but there's not. So long story short, I'm going a little bit slower today just because it's windy. The wind is dragging the box a little bit. And so I like to always take my speed down just a little. And so I'm staying in the lane that is the responsible slow lane, the right lane. And overall the speed limit is 70. I am going 60. Not that slow. At the same time, not 70. So I could understand if like there were people all going 60 on both sides, but there's not. There's just me going 60 in the right-hand lane. So there's plenty of ways that you can pass me on this highway. You could see whenever I pulled in, there are two specific lanes. They are not indicated of only be in this lane if you are passing. These are free-flowing lanes. You can drive in either one of them. There are no exemptions. It's here in Oklahoma. So I was in my little slow lane and a trucker just gets right behind me, barreling down on my back end, to the extent that if I would have had to have tapped the brakes because something was going on, he would have been up here in the cab with me. It would not have ended well. So I was thinking, okay, just go around me if you want to go that fast. Like, I'm not going to go faster. He then starts flailing his arms at me and honking at me. And again, the other lane is wide open. He could get over and he could go at any time. He chose not to. So I don't know if because I wouldn't go faster, it irritated him, or if there was something else weird about this guy. I have no idea, but he continued to just be right in my back end. And then at one point, he finally starts to go like he's going to go around me. And in doing so, he goes kind of around me, but only up to like my window, and then is just there. Just there. No one else can pass. So he's just idling, still flailing his arms, honking. And at that point, I became very nervous. And I was like, okay, I'm going to drop back so that you can just go ahead, because this is uncomfortable. I do not know if you're having a bad day or what, but I don't want to be a part of that day. So I tapped my brakes ever so slightly just to slow down. He did the same thing, slowed down almost to a jerk. And I was like, oh no, what is going on? So I decided, again, I don't want to be a part of this. So I just start to slow down a bit more, hoping that he'll just go around. Well, at this point, a couple of trucks pull in behind him because they want to pass and they think he's passing me. And they start getting very frustrated because now, guess what? Both sides are blocked. So they're angry. So they're acting dumb. And I am over here just trying to let all of them pass. All of them. And so what does the trucker do? He slows down more and then gets in behind me and lets the other two pass. Instead of just passing, he wanted to be behind me. And then he, again, is so close that I couldn't tap my brakes even if I wanted to. So as you can see, that's a little bit scary. But it didn't stop there. He finally decided that he wanted to do a side-by-side thing again. And so I just basically locked down my brakes, so I fell backwards a little bit so he would have to pass me. And so he got in front of me and got right in front of me, to the point where if he would have had to hit his brakes, now I'm the one who's going to go through his vehicle. And I kept slowing down and kept slowing down. I was down to like 50 at one point, and he kept slowing down and kept slowing down. And so ultimately, long story short, I know this has been an elaborate depiction as to what has happened, but I still have no idea why he did this. But it was making me so nervous that I needed to get away because he kept doing it. And I didn't know if he was trying to get me to pull over because he thought he saw something. I don't know. There's nothing on the van. Nothing. The van is fine. I don't know if he was trying to get me to pull over because he had other intentions. I don't know. His hand flailing made me very nervous, only because normally if a trucker wants you to move, either they'll indicate with their little lights, hey, hey, you can get over, or hey, hey, I'm going around. Very friendly, very cordial, very cool. This guy, not that. This guy very much so wanted to intimidate me or scare me, I think. I don't know why. I didn't see this guy when I stopped off to get gas, so it's not like we've been cruising together for a super long time. This whole incident took place over about a 10-minute span. It was the most stressful 10 minutes on a highway that I've had. Simply because in one section I couldn't have pulled off even if I wanted to because the shoulder was being worked on, and there weren't really any roads that you could just exit off onto, and there weren't any gas stations until this gas station. So I did a talk text to Riley, who is my safety buddy on the road, and was like, hey, something weird's going on, this is what's happening. And I can do all of that through my hands-free system in my van. And so I did that as we're going through here and kind of gave her some descriptors. This is what's going on. I don't know why. And that way at least somebody would know, because I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand. I still don't understand. And I'm just sitting at this gas station hoping that by sitting here long enough and just calming down a little bit, that this guy will have moved on, and so I don't encounter him as I get closer to the border of the next state. That was super weird. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why. I don't understand what the intentions were. I, again, always favor on caution versus the tempting of the fate when it comes to weird stuff. You see a lot of strange stories about things that happen. At the same time, my common sense says every trucker I've ever met has always been cool. Never met a trucker that's been like the atypical bad trucker from the movies. But this guy, something was not the same with that. The hands. Typically, I don't throw hands at other drivers, especially not taunting them in the way of coming up to the side, staying to the side. So I don't know. It was just really weird, and I don't like it, and I don't want to experience that again. Oh my gosh, it gave me like the little hives. Like, I'm pretty good at being on the road and not having issues, like with people and stuff like that, and my gut is pretty spot on. So if there's a weird situation, I just kind of move on from it. But what do you do when you're driving down the road and that's the case? There's not really a plan for that. I guess I'm gonna have to figure out a plan. I feel like these days you have to have a plan for everything, and it can just kind of get exhausting trying to explore all the options that your logical brain doesn't take you down, because you're not the problem when it comes to those things. But people on the road are very emotional, and sometimes it's a very weird situation where obviously you don't know what they're going through. But I just can't fathom what I did driving 60 that upset the guy enough where he took 10 minutes out of his life to taunt me and to scare me, like legit scare me. I was shaking. I've never experienced anything like that. It was like a version of road rage, but like a bully with road rage because he had a big truck. I don't know. It was just pretty wild. I'm gonna take a deep breath. I know the van's fine now, at least. I've been sitting here for a bit, so I guess I'll figure out getting back on the road. feel so good about this one. Something about that one just wasn't right. Normally on a day like today, if I experienced something like that, I would find myself a nice safe place to just sit, so I know I would be good for an extended time so I could calm myself. But I'm in transit back toward Texas, so I don't really want to stop and just not go home because of some weird guy. I'm just gonna sit here and take a few more breaths, I think. Yeah, this is a weird one.